Instead of buying one of these to sharpen some vintage handsaws I recently picked up, I decided to buy all of these for a few quid less. Let's hope this wasn't a bad idea. Today we're going to see if we can clean these up and get them into a serviceable condition. I'm going to test 3 different methods to clean these up. First, starting by hand with a file card and some sandpaper, then mechanically using a wire wheel and a drill, and finishing chemically using vinegar. I'm aiming to clean these up so they're not looking so rusty, and hopefully they'll still cut reasonably well, otherwise I might have to try and chemically sharpen them in the future. This round one already looks like it's in reasonable condition, so it's spared from the restoration for today. Before we start with the file card, I'm going to get this small triangular file stewing in vinegar and come back to it after 3 days. The removable handle was a bit rusted on, so I used a nylon hammer to give it a helping hand. I was super surprised when I found this hammer on Amazon. It's a Thor 710 made by the Thor Hammer company right here in England and only set me back £13. Anyway, I'm using regular food grade vinegar here. This is 5% acidity, so we'll see how it cleans up this little file. I'm cleaning up this flat file with the file card, so let's see how this goes. For each of these abrasive methods, I'm going to be wearing a respirator and goggles, since I don't fancy breathing in too much rust and steel. First, I used some sandpaper to clean up the handle. I came back later and gave this another going over to make the maker's mark shine a bit more. Then I used the stiff bristled file card to clean out the teeth of the file. Being honest, this was pretty hard work. It took me about 15 to 20 minutes. Afterwards, the handle looks nice and shiny, the teeth look a bit cleaner, but you can still see some rust between them, and they don't feel particularly sharp, so I'm not sure how effective this will still be. If you want to see if this is still usable, I'm planning to sharpen a guarding spade in an upcoming video. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. After 2 days in the vinegar, I gave the small saw file a light going over with a wire brush to remove any loose rust and give the vinegar the best chance of cleaning it up. I left it for another day and made a start on the other saw file. This bigger saw file had quite a bit of damage to the teeth, which I couldn't quite tell if it was damage or the remnants of some soft metal embedded in the file. Either way, the wire wheel was going to have its work cut out for it to clean this one up well. This was quite tricky to do as the file kept wanting to spin with the wheel. I'd probably have been better finding a way to clamp the file in place, then control the drill with both hands, but anyway, this did the job. I was quite surprised by how well this came out. The wire wheel seems to have cleaned up some of the rust and even managed to clean up a few of those clogged teeth. Alright, let's see how the vinegar did. After taking the file out of the vinegar, I rinsed it under a tap and put it in a container with water and bicarbonate of soda to neutralise any remaining vinegar. Then I dried it as much as possible with some kitchen roll. It would be a good idea to set this out in the sun or completely dry it with a hairdryer or heat gun. It still looks like it has a few spots of rust here and there, but most of it seems to have cleaned up pretty well and actually feels quite sharp. I didn't pay close enough attention before putting this in the vinegar, so this isn't a perfect comparison, but it definitely feels sharper than the others. So, after testing each of these methods out, I'd say the best overall technique would be to clean up the file first as well as possible with the wire brushes, then use the vinegar technique to take care of any remaining rust between the teeth and give it a light sharpening. I found a blog online on Small Boats Monthly that goes into great detail about how to sharpen and clean vintage files, so if you want to read the best method on this, the link will be down in the description. But basically, the method is to clean out the file as well as possible mechanically, then use an acid to sharpen the teeth. So that's it for this video. I should be able to use this small saw file, which is the main one I bought the job lot for, so it seems like money well spent. I've saved a few quid and got 3 extra files as well. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe for more tool reviews, restorations and hobbyist woodworking projects.